How's everybody doing?
Good.
This is going to seem a little scattered. I got a lot of new stuff tonight I'm working on. Do you think if a terrorist bought a sex doll, it would blow itself up? My wife's not here tonight. She's out of town, so I'm on my own. What that means to me is I get to turn the volume up on the porn. Which surprises me because my favorite part about getting a blowjob is the 15 minutes of silence. But,
You're right.
I wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, but I couldn't. So that's where my kids were. Needy shits. To try to make some extra money, I recently started an OnlyFans page.
Funny.
Right now I only got one viewer. It's my neighbor. He watches me through the curtains. I could close the curtains, but I like the audience feedback. I was recently watching a documentary on the BTK killer on Hulu, and I didn't realize that he had kids, and that got me thinking, can you imagine having a parent that was a serial killer? I mean, he had a son, and my dad pushed me into everything he was into, and I just can't imagine having a father as a serial killer. He's like, what are you thinking, son? Do you think a victim's just going to knock up on the door? No, you got to have a plan. You don't have a rape kit. You don't seem to have any plan on how to get out of here. You don't have rubber gloves. You don't have duct tape in your car. You got to be ready, boy. What are you thinking? Or, if you had a serial killer for a brother, your parents be hard on you, Why can't you be a good cook like Jeffrey?
Oh, God.
Speaking of Jeffrey, he got his parents over for dinner once, and they said, son, we have to tell you, we don't like your friends at all. And he says, what do you mean you don't like my friends? You've had 2 helpings.
Oh, God. That's okay, Mom. Eat the vegetables.
I always hated being a dad. Dad's a tough goddamn job because you got to have answers for shit, And now I'm grandpa, and grandpa don't have to have the answer to anything. But being a grandparent, I love some of the things my grandkids say to me. And recently, my 3-year-old son and his sister were spending the night at the house, and they're upstairs playing house, and the 3-year-old comes down, and he has his own little recliner chair, and he sits in it, and he just sits down and lets out a big, giant sigh, and pounds a couple gulps from his juice box. And he looks like he's ready to cry. And I said, what's the matter? And he goes, it's all over, Papa. She broke my heart. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, you don't know what girls are like. She won't do anything I tell her to do. She just don't listen at all. And so at the age of 3, he's already working on his divorce. And the other day, the 3-year-old where I'm at my daughter's house, and I look up to the upstairs window, and I see my wife and my daughter and my granddaughter all staring down at me. And it was around Christmas time, and the whole family's there. And when I get into the house, we're passing out presents, and the granddaughter comes running up to me, and she grabs me by the face, and she pulls me in. And so I tell everybody in the room, I say, hush, hush. She's going to tell me something really important, and you guys need to hear this. She says in a real sweet voice, she says, Papa, I love your bald spot. So I know what my wife and my daughter were talking about when they were looking at me down in the window upstairs. What's the worst possible thing you could say to your kid as a parent? Shut up and keep sucking.
Wow.
Oh, I know that sounds horrible, but I don't know what you're thinking about. This happened when me and my son were siphoning gas, and all we could do was talk about the taste of the fumes. I don't know where your mind's at, but kind of jealous of trans people, just because I'd like to. There's a lot of good material there. I mean, you can't really make fun of a group you don't belong to, and I'd like to join the group, so I thought about becoming trans just for the jokes, if I was Polly, I'd be a little more brave about it. Wear some skirts. I mean, show some balls, man. My mom, I mean, she's 87 years old, and texting's just not her thing. I just finally explained to her what LOL meant. She thought it meant lots of love, you know, and she's sending people funeral condolences with LOL. So she gonna stop that out. Yesterday she texted me saying she's having trouble getting BBC, and
Yeah.
I didn't know how to answer that, so I go over to her house. She goes, "I looked everywhere and I just can't get BBC." And so, "What are you talking about?" And she says, "You know, that British news program." Oh, I said, "Well, Mom, you can't text it that way." This couple, here's a joke for you. This couple, they get killed on their way to their wedding. Tragic. And there they are standing at the gates of heaven for St. Peter, and they asked St. Peter, they said, "We were about to get married. Are you allowed to get married in heaven?" St. Peter scratches his head and he thinks for a minute. He goes, "You know what? Nobody has ever asked me that. Let me find out." So he leaves the gates, leaves them standing there. He's gone about 4 weeks. Finally shows up and he says, "Well, as it turns out, you can get married here in heaven." And they're both happy, high-fiving each other. And then the groom, he thinks, being the pragmatist, he says, "Well, suppose it don't work out. Are we going to be able to get a divorce up here?" St. Peter throws down his book and he goes, "Jesus Christ, people. It took me 4 weeks to find a priest up here. How long do you think it'll take to get a lawyer?" I got a few more. Do some Catholic stuff.
Go ahead.
It's really comforting when your wife tells you got soft, firm hands. Not so much when your priest does. Yeah, I was born and raised Catholic. I got the emotional scars to prove it. And I knew my priest was real suspect because he told all us altar boys, he says, "I prefer you not to call me father." He goes, "I'd rather you called me daddy." There was one altar boy that we were all jealous of, this Joel kid. He always got special privileges with the father. I once asked the father, I said, "Well, why do you call him New Jesus? What's so special about this kid?" He goes, "Look at him. Boy, that sweet's worth a second coming." You know how you get a nun pregnant? You dress her up as the altar boy. You know what they call a sleepwalking nun? Roman Catholic. Do you know the difference between a priest and a zit? The zit will wait till you're a teenager to come on your face. Well, that's about all I got for you guys tonight. Thanks. It's been really good. So don't